and to my squad. Let's get an introduction.
Hi.
We have
Good
Jeannie,
morning.
who's familiar to you, as is Ashley. Nice to see you. We have two newcomers, at least to my Good Morning crew. We have Dan. Nice to see you, Dan. And Kristle. Good morning, Kristle.
Hi, good morning, Michaela.
This is really a delight to have you. Let me talk with our newcomers because Dan, you're married to a teacher, so I imagine at your house a lot of the conversation about COVID is probably focused on, is it safe to get our kids back to class? We want to go back to work. How do we feel? Give me an update on how your family's feeling.
Yeah, so my wife is a junior high teacher. She actually just went back into the classroom in a hybrid model this past week. So prior to that, she was all virtual. A little trepidatious, right? A little nervous, just because who knows what's going to happen. We definitely bought those N95s for her to wear. But that being said, we have two kids. Both kids are in school, preschool, and we're less nervous about our girls going to school. For them, I'm more nervous about my wife being in the classroom with that many kids every single day. And so that's where our feeling is. I feel like overall it's going to be safe and we'll be okay. But that's just kind of our vibe right now.
We'll have a vaccine chat in a second. And Kristle, also newcomer to us, you're also married with 3 kiddos, and you work with kids as well. And you know the importance of kids getting that socialization, keeping their scholastic brains nicely activated. But I imagine you have your own concerns about safety.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think, from the onset of the pandemic, it was really, of course, about the lack of information and just really buckling down on safety. And then as more information kind of came out, both on a professional level, working for a regional Boys and Girls Club here in Orange County, as well as on a personal level, figuring out as the information came out how to mitigate that risk. And so we were one of the first to really open up for childcare as an essential service.
Yes.
And my husband and I were able to really see, okay, these are the safety protocols that work. We were very fortunate to be successful to reopen childcare for Orange County residents. And so it helped us to be more comfortable with kids going back to school, what works, what doesn't work. And so we've seen, local school districts reopen successfully and step up. And so I think we've been very fortunate in that regard.
Shout out to Boys and Girls Clubs all across the area because they have been actually taking in kids in a time when families weren't able to and really filling in some blanks. All right, my 2 ladies, I understand you got vaccinated. Kristle, or not Kristle, sorry, Ashley, you've had your first dose, correct?
Yep, had my first dose February 2nd. And I'm getting ready to take the next one next week.
How did it all go?
It was great. I didn't feel anything. I'm like, I really believe, like, if you exercise your arm as much as possible, I didn't feel any soreness.
Great.
So I was okay. And I felt good. I had a little headache the next day, but it was very slight. And I'm just, it was well worth it for the relief that I feel now on the road to recovery.
And now you're waiting for your second one. Have they set a date for you?
Yeah, well, no, I'm actually waiting. So Ralph's is supposed to call me back and tell me what the date is supposed to be. They said I'll get a call, though, but I do know it's supposed to be next week.
Okay. Jeannie, who's my girl that's fully vaccinated? Who got her vaccine on Valentine's Day?
I did. And now I'm in my 2-week waiting period. And I'm telling you, I was amazed how smoothly it went. My husband and I, we went to Magic Mountain. The first time we went, we expected to be there for 6 hours, right?
Yeah.
We were in and out in an hour and 15 minutes.
Wow.
It was so smooth and so well run, and everyone was so happy. That's what made it just so great. We feel great. We're not changing a whole lot, but, we feel really great. And I'm going to shout out to my Tina, my neighbor who helped me get my vaccine appointment. Mwah, thank you. And, we're very fortunate.
Well, was it a bit of a nightmare getting the appointment? Because that's what we've heard from folks that were in that first round, that it was a real challenge trying to navigate the websites and refreshing and then trying to call. Jeannie, you had to lean on your neighbor, huh?
No, I'm telling you, she called me and said, go to this site, and I got an appointment immediately.
That's
I had
fantastic.
no problem whatsoever. It was very, very smooth. And so I have no complaints. I'm very lucky.
Okay, Dan and Kristle, you're in my boat. We're waiting. We're waiting for the next tiers to come. Dan, for you, are you sort of anxiously awaiting? Do you have a sense of when it's going to be, or are you just happy to wait your turn?
I mean, I've reserved the fact that I'm like far in the back of the line. I'm, lucky I'm healthy and I'm relatively young, and that's fine with me. Where I don't know if concern's the right word, but I guess I would say where I would hope the next person that gets vaccinated in my immediate family is my wife, because she's a teacher, because she's in the classroom, because she has, she has asthma, so that's a thing. So that's what I hope, for her is that she's able to get vaccinated in the next phase of this.
Well, we just heard, Kristle, and I'm sure you felt it too, the relief, like from Jeannie, was even from Ashley, was palpable. I'm looking forward to that day when you can let your shoulders drop a little bit. Look, we won't change a lot of our protocol, but we might just sleep a little bit easier.
Oh yeah, and my parents actually live with us, and so I was able to drive them to their first vaccination appointment, and so I really felt firsthand that sense of relief and knowing that, it's not over yet, but just seeing them take that first step was such a monumental moment for us after this year of chaos. So we're really excited about that.
Well, and that's the thing, the year of chaos. And Ashley, I know that you're aware of this too, because there has been a real effort to get folks in the Black community vaccinated. And somebody I know very dearly took his father to get vaccinated at the forum. And at the end, they were saying it was the same as what Jeannie was saying, that it was this nice sort of community vibe and everybody was cheerful. And it was almost like a county fair, like that vibe of just community. And the people said to them as they were leaving, hey, make sure you bring everybody you know in the African American community, anybody Black, your family, your cousins, your relatives, your friends, your neighbors, make sure you bring them down. What are you hearing from your people in and around you? Are they still hesitant, or are they moving towards getting vaccinated?
It's a toss-up. Some of them are saying that they don't want to. It's interesting because we in our business, I work with a lot of our staff who are African American, Hispanic descent, and many of them are feeling like they don't want to do it. But I am the first one to say, oh, I went on television and said I wasn't going to do it, but when the chance opened up for me, I ran and I did it, and I'm okay. So I'm really appreciating all of my friends who are posting and making a conscious effort, even my stepmother, to let people know I'm okay.
Yes.
And I think that, it's important for us to do it. So we're just having these constant conversations, but I would say still 50-50 in terms of what I experience.
Well, the great thing is we can evolve, and hopefully we're helping people evolve to an informed decision that isn't just based on a Facebook post or social media post that they read. Get your facts from a veritable source. Jeannie, most of your peers, have they been anxious to get vaccinated, or has there been hesitancy in your crew?
Absolutely not. Everyone is so eager to just have that peace of mind. Like I said, I don't think a whole lot's going to change. We're going to keep wearing our masks. We're going to keep social distancing, and we're going to be very careful. But there is this, like you said, this palpable relief that even if I were to get sick, I wouldn't get really sick. And I have an autoimmune disease. So that gives me a huge peace of mind. And everybody I know is very eager, young and old, everyone I know.
Well, and I know even if you want to put your hat on for a second, Kristle, like within the Boys and Girls Club, I know that the concern is there too, is making sure that, these vulnerable communities, that they're getting the information they need about testing, getting information they need about vaccination, and then also just giving them the support, because, we saw the unemployment numbers today. They're not good. A lot of folks are really struggling. We're not really getting that the federal relief anytime soon. The state's working on some relief. You guys feel it in those clubs.
Yeah, we absolutely do. I mean, we certainly feel it. We serve our families and do our best to educate our parents as we get more information. Of course, my focus is around our kids and their social emotional well-being, and that's where we're seeing a lot more issues come up. You know, you hear the stories about anxiety and mental health, and we certainly are seeing that in our clubs. And it's just been a really rewarding experience to serve those kids, but also, you know, really heartbreaking to see some of what's come out of this pandemic.
It's important but difficult work, to be sure. Dan, you're a